Okay, welcome back to Xing Yi Academy. I'm Paul Andrews. I'm here with Joe on camera, and Andrew's going to help me out. Is that Joe's thumb?
A blurry thumb.
Okay, cool. So we had a question this week from one of our online students, and he said that he'd trained a little bit of Xing Yi Body. I probably said that really badly. My Chinese is not good at all. But it's the precursor art to Xing Yi. Really, it's the same age as Xing Yi, it's just that Xing Yi evolved in a slightly different way. Usually this is the art that people relate to the Henan province and the Hui Muslim ethnic minority in China. And the art is very distinctive. It shares the same core principles as Xing Yi, but the techniques and the methods of training are slightly different. So this guy who is one of our online students now, he's trained a little bit in Xing Yi Body, and in Xing Yi Body they really emphasize in certain exercises the dragon body, especially the rotational aspect of the dragon body. Okay, so one of the exercises that they do this step where they twist the body like this and they change side to side. So this is actually like a dragon technique. Okay, so we have similar stepping, similar movements in Xing Yi. In Xing Yi we might do this. So you see here the hips and the torso have twisted. So what I'm doing there is I'm making a rotation in my waist, and the rotation is coming because the hips and the shoulders are twisting in opposite directions to them, or one is usually the shoulders are twisting more than the hips are twisting. So my hips might stay square, but my shoulders twist here. So that movement is actually coming from the spine. It's the spine and the waist that's initiating that movement. So I'm creating this twist. As I twist, it stores energy, and it stores energy through the muscles of the back, like a spring being twisted, and it's holding that energy in. So once I've twisted that, I can then release that energy again, and it'll release at this point, at this midpoint again. This is where the most release is, and then as I pass through that point and twist back the other way, I'm storing energy as well, again in the muscles of the back. So it's kind of store, release, or compress, expand, compress, expand. Most styles of Xing Yi have an emphasis on a vertical compress and expand, or a bowing of the back. So you might see this kind of thing where you bow the back and then you pop out, or you might see where you bow the back and then the spine rolls out. Okay, we do both of these things, and all styles will have this to some extent. If you see in Xing Yi movements like Heng Quan or Pao Quan, if I do an orthodox type Pao Quan, you get this kind of movement like here. Okay, and you see that my shoulder, my right shoulder is forward, but my left leg and left hip is forward. So that means there's a counter twisting between the hip and the shoulder there. So that means I've twisted. If I do this again here, you see, so each time that I'm moving, I'm twisting here. So there's not that emphasis on the bow and pop, that compress, bow, expand on a vertical plane. This is the horizontal rotational plane. So the question was from our online student, what about the chin and the head? What happens to the chin and head when you turn and twist? Because if I'm twisting the torso, what if I keep the head locked in with the shoulders? You see, now the head's rotating with the shoulders. And really what you want to think about is, why are you doing the movement? What's the practical context of the movement? And for that you really need a partner. But usually a lot of people practice these things solo. So you often get these general rules or principles, like the head should always stay pointed forwards. So if I'm doing, let's say I'm doing a Heng Quan, I'll do my style of Heng Quan, like this. My head is pointing forwards, even though here I twist. So, but rather than twist and look over here, and then come through and twist and look over here or here. My head points towards a target, so I hook through, hook through, hook through. So my head's always pointed at the target. So sometimes when you're practicing solo, it's not so obvious what is the head doing, what are the eyes doing, what's the intent doing. And there's a emphasis here on these general rules of just keep looking forwards. Now that becomes a little bit different. We start to break that rule of just keep looking forwards when we involve a partner, because we want the body to do its thing. So if Andrew throws a right strike at me, first thing I need to do is get out of the way of that, or I need to block it or deflect. So if I deflect it, you see, if I turn with this, deflect, now my intention and my head and my eyes are pointing over here, but my target's here, my target's Andrew, yeah? So I want to do something like this. I deflect, my eyes stay on, and then I strike through that position. So my body does what it needs to do, it does the twist. So if I do the Heng Quan, I twist here, but I don't look over here, yeah? I don't follow this point of interception here, okay? What I do is, my intent goes to that point. Now I can feel that, I know what's going on there. I'm going to step around that, and you see there, my eyes are locking in to Andrew's center. So I want to strike through his center. So he just does that once more. I connect and come off, and my intent is through here. So I strike through that position and go through his center line. So my eyes and my head rotate to follow the target, and it's the eyes and the intent that lead the body. So as he's coming in, it's my eyes and intent that lock on here, and it's that takes my arm to that position, okay? And then as I come through here, it's my eyes, my intent that leads this hand into the center, okay? So we go 1, 2. My target, I'm always on target. If then Andrew moves, so he's stepping away, you see my body twists and moves. The twists are quite subtle at this point because I'm trying to keep things small, but my eyes stay focused on where he is, and he throws another punch. So come through here, keeps coming here, here. If he takes some bigger steps, like evasive steps, so you see he's moving, he's making me move now. So as he moves, I rotate my body, but my body flows into position and my eyes stay on target. In exchange, you might want to put a strike in, then a slip, you might want to go for the strike with the thumb slip, but you come to strike. So that's kind of okay. So that's a fairly simple, short explanation of what's the head doing while your body is using its dragon body. The dragon body is really important. It's what gives us the power, the force generation. It's what helps us to evade, it helps us to stay mobile, it helps actually move the legs as well. The dragon body, the twisting in the waist, is actually going to power the legs as well. So all of it connects together, and we don't want to be taking our intent away from what's actually happening in relation to our opponent. Or else we're just doing movement for movement's sake, and we are taking our weapons, our fists, our feet, our sword, whatever we're using, off the target, allowing our opponent that opportunity to get in and take our space again. Okay, so hope that little explanation was helpful for you, might add a little bit to your Xing Yi practice. As always, you can subscribe to us on YouTube, hit the button below, get over to our website xingyiacademy.com and sign up to the email list, and you'll get a free mini course. We also have Facebook and all
related to this content, actually.
Yeah, Joe's just reminded me that the mini course, if you sign up for our email list, the mini course is all about Xing Yi Body Mechanics, and there is actually quite a lot of info in there about the dragon body, about how to move from your core, and then how to connect that out to your limbs and into your legs as well. So that's your first step to start using this kind of body movement and put it into a practical Xing Yi related exercise. Also, I have to mention our new Patreon patron. It's Francis Dury, and he's a $1 a month Patreon patron. So thank you for signing up. Your support is really helpful. All the guys on Patreon, it's great to have you on board. It really helps us cover some overheads and helps us do more stuff like this. So if you're interested, the $1 a month patrons get a shout out on one of our films, and the $10 a month Patreons get a little bit extra content. It might be an article, it might be a little bit extra video, it could be a bit of graphics that we've designed, something like that. We try and give you something at least once a month, if not more. So get over to patreon.com/Xing Yi Academy and help us out by signing up for a monthly subscription for there as well. Okay, that's everything from me. We will see you next time. Cool.